Thanks for joining us again today. So we are joined again with Lee at First to Protect. First to Protect is one of the insurance companies that we work with to help clients get their buildings and contents and landlord's insurance. And we're just going to be discussing buildings cover and some of the additional add-ons that can be applicable to that. So Lee, tell us a little bit about the importance of buildings cover. We do know it's obviously mandatory from a mortgage point of view. Lenders insist on buildings insurance being in place from point of exchange onwards. But yeah, tell us a little bit more about buildings cover and kind of the additional add-ons sometimes you can have with that.
Buildings cover ultimately, protects your building from fire and flood and subsidence. So you kind of think about the structure of your building and your roof and your main pit and kind of the cables and pipes which come into the property from the driveway, etc. So kind of your main structure that sits within the building is what you're covered for. Generally, you'll find, not with all insurers, but with most, there's a basic level of accidental damage cover that's included within that. But when you check your policy, and that basic level of accidental damage cover will cover any fittings within the property. So if you think about like fitted kitchen and fitted wardrobes and your sanitary ware in the bath, that comes under the buildings section of the policy. You can upgrade that accidental damage cover to full accidental damage cover. And I always kind of use the example, I think, of the full accidental damage cover covers any kind of DIY disasters, if you like. So if you drill through the wall and you hit a pipe, or you put your foot through the ceiling, if you're in the ceiling trying to get something out like Christmas decorations or whatever, then you'll find that, you've got full accidental damage cover, then we'll pay out for any damage which is caused there. Probably one other element I would say of buildings cover too, which is quite important and something probably to look out for, is trace and access cover. We include at First to Protect, we include that in all of our policies, going quite highly rated. And that basically, if you think about your home, you think about where the pipes and cables are. So they're generally under a floor or behind a wall or in a ceiling space. So if you've got a leak, you're covered for kind of any damage which is caused by the leak, but you're not covered if you haven't got trace and access to actually find that cause of leak. So if you're having to pull the floor up or pull the bath out across the wall, and any damage which is caused, then you're liable for that unless you've got trace and access cover. And that's again kind of going to the importance of having the right policy and the right cover in place.
Right. Yeah. No. I mean, the trace and access, you say, it's one that could go overlooked. And again, an example, if you're on a comparison website and you're just going for the cheapest, that may come back to haunt you because you may not have that trace and access cover, and you're going to be covered for part of the claim, but not all of it.
Absolutely right. Yeah, you could be. I've seen people that have, been forking £3,000-4,000 out, which is probably the average, and you're talking about a trace and access claim themselves, before they've actually paid out. So
yeah, no. And when it comes to some of the add-ons, obviously accidental damage is one of them there, and
yes.
I think that's a really important one. I think there are several others, aren't there? And I think home emergency is one of them, is it?
Yeah, home emergency cover is a really good one, actually. So, if you find you lock yourself out, you lose your keys, you need to get hold of a locksmith urgently, and it normally covers a decent amount to call out a locksmith, or you have a blocked toilet, or your boiler goes wrong. I mean, boilers are going wrong all the time. There are conditions obviously around age of boiler, etc. But if your boiler goes wrong, so it's a really valuable add-on to, I think, to have into your product, especially home, and especially landlords as well, if you're talking about landlords as well.
Okay. And often we see an option for legal cover. What does that actually cover? Because that's an additional add-on you can have as well, isn't it?
Yeah. Legal cover, again, really a valid addition to anyone. So legal cover not just covers kind of disputes within, boundary disputes and disputes within, for the property, but it extends further than that. So it kind of provides a service, if you have any, issues, maybe in employment disputes or consumer disputes or anything like that. So you're kind of covered for, generally 50, 75,000, depends a lot on the policy itself, but a healthy amount. But it just gives you access to any kind of legal helpline and legal advice and to be able to take that forward. So it's really useful bolt-on to add into your policy as well.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's something we always cover with our clients, and it doesn't normally cost much more either, does it?
No, it's only a few pounds a month probably.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you very much for discussing buildings insurance with us today. Really appreciate your time.
No trouble. Thanks, Paul.